So this session is the Exploring Scratch Backpack Feature workshop. So make sure that you're in the right place. And if you're actually like hoping to join another workshop, no worries at all, no hard feeling. Feel free to hop off and join the session that you want. But for everyone here in this session, we will be exploring the Scratch Backpack feature today together. So maybe we can just get started, everyone. Does that sound good? Okay, then I will go into full screen with my slides. All right, yep. So let's do a quick round of introduction because we actually have 4 presenters, all from different places, amazing people in this session. So I will start with inviting Ruth, which is the first name here on the top. Ruth, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Ruth. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself, like your role and where you're from?
Well, I'm from the Philippines, and yes, I teach Scratch to grade 5 learners, and I really hope to teach it from from the first grade up to the, I think, 6th grade for for my school, which I hope that I can do in the near future.
That's awesome. We're all rooting for you. And I hope that you'll be able to continue to spread Scratch in your community. And for myself, hi, everyone. I am Tracy. I am with the Scratch Foundation, Outreach and Engagement Manager. I am from Hong Kong originally, currently living in London in the UK. And next up would be Prashant.
Hi, everyone. I'm Prashant. I'm Tracy's colleague, also part of the Scratch Foundation. And I am from Bangalore, India, and it's just past 8 p.m. over here, tagging Christoph.
Yeah, it's amazing to be here. Hello, everyone. I'm from Poland, from SEC organization, Digital Coaction from Poland. I'm teacher and educator, and it's lovely to be here. And that's all. I'm so excited, and we will be play with Scratch later. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So we have a very jam-packed workshop today, broken into mainly 3 parts. So first of all, we will be talking about why we need culturally relevant content in Scratch. And then we'll jump into the backpack exploration phase after that. So we'll show 2 different use cases. So the first one would be bring your culture into Scratch. So we'll demo how to use that, how to do that with the backpack. And then we'll do another demo, which is another use case, which is a bit different, building one project collaboratively together. So you can follow along and watch the demo together, and you'll definitely have a better understanding of the backpack feature after the workshop today. So first up, we will talk about culturally relevant content and why that is important by Ruth.
All right. Good morning again, everyone. Again, I'm Ruth Yap, and I'm a Filipino Scratch teacher. And I saw earlier, and right now, I'm seeing a lot of people from different parts of the world. Truly, diba? Truly, Scratchers are all over the world. And will you agree with me that each of you have something to tell about their country? Right. That is exactly the reason why Christoph, Tracy, and Prasant are here. So that we can tell you how you can make your culture relevant and Scratch go together to make this more relevant and exciting to our learners. So we will be expounding on our culture and Scratch and how we can make Scratch relevant to each of our culture and why. This is my 3rd year teaching Scratch, and I have always toyed with the idea of how I can bring Scratch closer and more relevant to my students. It is always a hope that after the 8 months of so of me teaching Scratch to my students, they will sign right back in Scratch and just do projects upon projects, even without the grades, and just enjoy scratching. Correct? Culturally relevant content in Scratch will make that possible. All right, and it will give many social and cognitive benefits to the learners, to our scratchers. Yes, Scratch can be seen, di ba, in different languages. But take note, culture is more than a language. A very quick definition here. Culture refers to the customs, languages, values, beliefs, and achievements of a group of people. Students' culture and lived experiences influence them on how they understand things and make sense of their world. The culture that many students experience at home and in their communities is not always represented in school, or if it is represented in a stereotypical way. All right? So, let's see. In other words, using text, materials, and example that comes from students' cultural schemas and backgrounds makes learning easier because it comes from and we use the students' existing neural pathways. Well, imagine your students seeing in the sprite libraries different different spots in your countries. For my part, for example, I can just imagine my students looking at getting excited at seeing Mayon Volcano, Chocolate Hills, Boracay, and even our school, Miriam College, in the backdrop library. Sure, they can always upload that picture, but I am sure that their heart will skip a bit when the places they go to are seen by other scratchers too. All right, so that's number one. It's gonna be easier for them to learn. Number two, it will support students' racial and ethnic pride. There is no one superior culture. Each of the culture that we have is unique and beautifully so. But let's admit that oftentimes with the clutter outside, we all tend to feel, well, insecure with the world. Scratchers, when they see their people featured, for example, in the Sprite library, they will feel a sense of pride. They belong to a race, a people that is recognized and valued and given importance to. It strengthens diversity, multiculturality. Scratchers, therefore, will appreciate their identity more and grow to be socially and culturally and more loving human beings. All right, that's number two. It will bring ethnic pride. And finally, it will make learning meaningful, engaging, and effective. As a teacher, my goal is an engaged classroom. I want each student to actively chime in their opinions, their views, and piggybacking on their culture will make this possible. So, it will make Scratch culturally relevant. Letter E, it will make learning easier and fun. Letter E, it will give ethnic pride. Another letter E, it will be you will have a more engaging classroom and an effective one too. A culturally relevant Scratch will really help learners learn more. I am excited to see a more culturally relevant Scratch content. And I can't wait to share it and teach and learn it with my Filipino students. On the next conference, let's see each other again in this space as we share projects upon projects of Scratch that is more culturally diverse and um, backpack will make that happen. And so in the meantime, let's keep scratching. Turning over to Tracy and Christoph now.
Thank you so much, Ruth, for sharing so
Thank
beautifully, like why we think culturally relevant content in Scratch is important. And this actually also ties to our mission at Scratch, which is Scratch for all. So we definitely want every Scratcher from whatever background, community to feel represented and also feel that they have a voice, they can feel comfortable to share on the Scratch platform. And just like Ruth mentioned, it would be awesome, like ideal to have all these different sprites, backdrops, and sounds in our Scratch library from different country, representing different culture. But at the same time, we also know that is like kind of impossible to put every single item into our Scratch library. Then there will be like 1 million items from different countries. So instead, we want to sort of empower everyone to actually create and use your own assets that represent your own culture. So bringing your culture into Scratch. And so in the next piece, we are going to show you how to do that in your Scratch account and do that easily through the backpack function. So let me go to Scratch, actually. So, first of all, we can talk about what is an asset pack. So for assets, it means a sprite or sound or a backdrop. So basically what you can find in the library in Scratch. So if you go to scratch.mit.edu, in order for this to work, we have to use a logged in account. So make sure that you have registered on Scratch and you are logged in into your account. So that is like the first step of this demo. So now we will go into how to, one, create the asset pack, and later on we'll show you how to use the asset pack. So it's always good to give some examples so that it's not abstract. So for an asset pack, this is an example that I've created. So if Prashant, you can share this in the chat, that will be great. It is a shared project. So I'm originally from Hong Kong, but living in London. So what I miss most about Hong Kong is the snacks and street food. So I use this theme to create an asset pack myself. So I drew everything here like this fish ball, and then with some curry and spicy sauce, milk tea, egg tart with a really flaky crust and egg custard in the middle. And then also some buns in a steamer, French toast, so a fried toast with butter and syrup. So this is like making me hungry, but this is like a theme that I have picked for my asset pack. So now you can think about an asset pack that you might want to create. So it could be from your culture, food items, architecture, landscape, native animals, clothing items. So the possibilities are really limitless. And you can, of course, have everything, like each piece in one project as well. So an asset pack could look very different and come in different shape or form. So if Prashant, you can share this link as well as another example of an asset pack that my colleagues have created. And this is more elaborate, a little bit of animation and also some description about what everything is. So it's created by my colleague, Maren, and we talked about where she's from the West Coast in the US. And then she has created some items that are native to that area. So some trees and animals and so on. So yeah, if you have time and effort, willing to put in the effort, you can also make this more elaborate with code and so on. And then another asset pack example is what Prashant created. So if you can share that in the chat as well, that will be great. And Prashant, do you also want to talk a little bit about what your asset pack is?
Yeah, I just like to do something quick. I'm not very good with art like many people. So the way that I went about it is went to a free open source kind of community like Pixabay, and I downloaded different elements and I added them in. So there's a different, like a thali that we call it, that I love eating. There's another a pot which is again traditional to one of the festivals called Ugadi. Again, we're famous for many tigers, and I love auto rickshaws, so also added that in. So yeah, these were just some things that I added in, and it's not nearly as detailed as what you and Melon have done, but that's that's okay.
Yeah, totally. That's the spirit. That's okay. So the SF pack can come in like any form or shape, as long as like it is clear, and then you can share that with your students, educators, and learners. So let's dive into a little bit more about how to create an SF pack yourself. So you can click create to start a new project for your SF pack. But for me, I'm just going to edit this existing project. So I'll click see inside. So you can see that I have all these different food items here as sprites. So if you have collected images or created images somewhere else, then you can click here and choose upload, just like what Prashant did, and upload those assets like sprites into your project. So it's super easy. And an alternative way is, if you're into drawing or want to try it out, is to use the paint editor built in Scratch and draw the sprite yourself. So for this demo, we will create a long together using the paint editor. And I will use this steamer with the buns as an example. So I'll draw that together with all of you. So you're welcome to follow along to draw some buns together, or if you have an idea of what item that you want to create, you can also draw that, based on what you want to create. So first of all, we can think about or here observe what are the elements that are in this sprite. So there's like the steamer and then also some buns. So pretty simple. So let's start with the steamer. So let's use the rectangle tool, and I can change the color here, sliding the bar. And I'm going to choose something that is like brown and orange for the bamboo steamer. And it has
Sorry, some people are not able to see your it looks like.
Okay.
So maybe if someone knows how to troubleshoot this.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. Looks like Kim and Audrey are able to see. So the others who can't, please just refresh your screen and you should be able to see it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, please refresh if you cannot see it. And we are in the paint editor, just to recap, to create a new sprite. So now let's use the rectangle tool to draw the steamer. So just like this. And now we have a sort of like a very basic bamboo steamer. We will adjust the size of the sprite later on. So let's just finish the sprite first. So I don't want everything to be a straight line. I want curved lines so that everything is more natural. Then you can first select the rectangle and use this reshape tool. This is something that is super helpful that you use a lot in the paint editor. So I'll add a point here in the middle and just drag, and it will become a curved line. So I'm going to do this for here as well. So now I have a more natural bamboo steamer. And I am just going to add one more line here, just like here, to indicate the opening of the steamer. So one straight line, again, using this tool. And again, add a point here, click on it, and drag a little. So we have a steamer with an opening line here. So I think the steamer is ready. I will add the face at the very end. Now we can move on to the buns in the steamer. So we'll also use the shape tool as like a basis for everything. So the buns would be a circle. So fill, I will choose white color, and I will just draw one circle here. Okay, so now we have a bun. But actually, the bun is more like a teardrop shape with a pointed tip. So again, I will use this point here and reshape tool here and add some point to drag and drop to change the shape of my bun. So making it like this. So you can play around with this reshape tool. With some practice, it can be super powerful. And of course, you can also use another software and to draw and then upload your image later on. So I will zoom in a little bit here to fine tune the details. So I want the tip to be more pointed. So I'll add a few more dots here and to change. Okay, more or less, I think we have a pretty good bun. So I hope you're following along or are drawing something that represent your culture. So this is a bun, and I will add a few more lines here as some decoration. So this is like one little bun that I have. And I will use the select tool, select everything. So the lines and the bun are all selected, and I'll click group so that everything is as one element right now, and I can move them along. So of course, I want to have more buns in one steamer. So I will copy and then paste, and then copy and paste again. So now we'll have 3 buns. So now let's move them around a little, and you'll notice that the buns are on top of the steamer, but I want them to be behind. So what you'll do is click on a bun and choose back. So meaning that the bun is now at the back of the canvas, so behind the steamer. So same here. And now we have like a steamer with some buns. And finally, I will add a little face to the steamer. So again, use the circle tool. Fill is black for the eye. So another eye. And then for the mouth, use a straight line like this. And I want it to smile, so add a point here and drag it. And finally, some pink cheek. So let's choose something like this. I don't want outline for the cheek, so I just click here. Okay, so now the steamer with the bun more or less is done. So it's a bit too big, right, on the canvas. So one way to resize this is to select everything and just make it smaller. And then another way is the sprite here, you'll see that there's a size option. So 100 is original size. So I want to make it smaller, so maybe 70. Okay, so for this old bun, I will just hide here. So this I will move here. So because this asset pack that you are creating, you might share it with other people for them to use. So it's important to name everything properly. So for this, I will name it bun. Okay, bun 2, because I already have a bun. And also, while it is not required, but it is also very encouraged for you to have one more costume, at least one more costume, so that you can have a little animation with your sprite. So one costume is like one frame in an animation. So I can right click and duplicate, and then I have this. So maybe I'll just create something very simple, like a jumping bun. So I'll just move the bun up. So when you click, you can see that, oh, okay, so the buns are jumping. So I have a super simple sprite ready. And I will also have to name this properly. So jumping bun 1 and jumping bun 2. Jumping bun 2. Okay, so apart from sprite, we also have sound in our assets. So in the interest of time, I will just use something from the Scratch library. But when you click on the sound tab, you'll see that you can upload your own sound or even record your own voice or sound from your environment. So in the interest of time, I'm just gonna choose let's see. Okay, I will maybe choose a jump sound because it's a jumping bun. So I'll delete this old pop sound. So now you will have a sound associated with your sprite. So let's go back to here. So this is a sprite with a sound ready. So very similarly, you can create a backdrop that represent your culture, community here as well, upload or use the paint editor for your backdrop. But we actually recommend you using a sprite for your backdrop as well, because that way, if you have 10 different backdrops and if you have sound with your backdrop, you can save everything just in one sprite. If you do that in backdrop, you have to have like 10 different backdrops later on. So I'll quickly demo that. So let's create a new sprite again. So I'll choose paint, and I'm just gonna make a blue sky to make just as a demo. So use the rectangle tool, no outline, and I'll put a blue background here. And this will become a backdrop sprite. So I will name it backdrop. And you'll notice that, oh, it's now covering everything else, but I want to see my old sprites. So what you do is go to looks and then go to layer. And here you can choose back and click it. And this layer now, this sprite will be at the back of everything, so you can see everything. So we have demoed sort of how to create or draw your own sprite, add sound to it, and even add a backdrop, draw a backdrop as well. So this is basically an asset pack, a simple asset pack that we have created. So let's click save now. And if you are creating a new project, you should be able to see a share button here in orange. Then you can share the project and you'll be redirected to the project page. So make sure to add a description about what it is. So I have mine here. And then also, very important, remember to add credits for your images or sounds or anything if you collect them from somewhere else. So imagine that I have this asset pack or someone has this asset pack through a link. Then I want to use this asset pack, which is step 2. Then what should I do? So after I see this project. So now we will actually start to utilize the amazing backpack feature. So now I have this asset pack. I want to use it. I will click see inside and go into this project. So remember, you have to be logged in order for this to work. So make sure that you're logged in here. And you should be able to see that there's a backpack area at the bottom. So you click to expand it and you'll see, oh, backpack is empty. So what's going to happen is you can just choose elements that you like and drag and drop those into the backpack area. So I like the bun, so I drop it here. I like French toast, I drop it here. I like the backdrop, I drop it here. Then they're all in my backpack. And actually, I will be able to see this backpack no matter which project I am in, as long as I am logged in. So this backpack is like super great tool. And of course, another thing to use the backpack, use the asset pack is if you like everything here and you just want to create a project out of this, you can just simply remix it and add code and to this directly. Then you don't need to do this drag and drop step. So now I want to use these few elements for a project. Then I will just create a new project. And now you'll see that, click on backpack, everything has been carried here. So let me delete the cat and I will drag the bun to the area and then also the French toast and then also the backdrop. And you'll see that again is on the top, this backdrop. And you can also see that the code that we saved that was with the backdrop sprite is now also carried over here. So the go to back layer. So if you click that again, then it will become at the back. And if you actually prefer the backdrop to be in the backdrop area so that you can use the code like switch to backdrop and so on, that you can also make that happen as well. So go to backdrop, costume, drag this costume into the backdrop area. Then you'll be able to do the switch backdrop and stuff like that with your backdrop here. So now I have 2. I'm going to delete this. So now we have this backdrop and a bun. And I can create a super simple project of the bun jumping. So when the green flag click, repeat 10 times, and I will go to next costume. And I will wait a little bit so that it's not super fast. So maybe 0.5 second. So when I click green flag, then I have a jumping bun using assets from another project that I created. So this is basically a way to create your asset pack and then also use the elements from the asset pack in another project that you'll see. So this is like just a super quick demo. And apart from culturally relevant asset pack, like the ones that we have shown, you can also consider creating other asset packs, like maybe a theme for your lesson that you're teaching, like biology. Maybe you have some cells and so on ready for your students to use. So the possibilities are really endless. And we would really love to know what kind of asset pack that you will create and how you'll use this process. So I don't
Sorry, before you move ahead, I think there are a couple of questions that people are having at this stage.
Yes.
One of them is how they can share their backpack. So I think maybe if you can just tell us a little bit of, if I'm a teacher and I want other students to use my backpack, is that possible, or how does that work?
Yeah, so for the backpack itself, like this area is only for your own account. So it's associated with your account. You cannot share a backpack like here with your students. What you can share instead is the asset pack project, Scratch project, the one that I've created with the toes or buns and everything that you want to share with your students. So it will be a Scratch project. And the backpack is only for you to transfer the sprites and everything easily across your other projects. So that's like just a means to use the sprite. But what you have to share with your students is this link, this project here with all the sprites and so on. Yeah. Can you use this so if a student deletes their project, it will come back up? Yeah, so if you save the assets, sprites or backdrop in your backpack, even if you delete the project, everything is still saved in your backpack. So the backpack is quite handy in that. And great question about organizing and cleaning up the backpack. Unfortunately, right now, there's no good way to do that. So let me go inside again. The only thing that you can do is to right click and delete. And I think we have a limit on maybe 200 items in the backpack. So you might want to make sure that you clean up the space, like click delete regularly, because you cannot organize or sort or anything yet with the backpack. Yeah. So yeah. Oh yeah. And Kim, you have a great point. It will only work after you have shared your project in the community. So you need to share a project in order for the link to work. And you can share that link with your students. And the students will be able to see all the great assets you have created, just like this, just like this, just like this. And whatever you want to use, you drag and drop into backpack, and then you start another project or open an existing project and add those elements into your own project. So yeah. And yeah, I know this demo might be a little bit quick. It is recorded, so you can always go back and see. And we will also roll out a tutorial video on this whole process later on, maybe August, September. So stay tuned. And this is like a sneak peek of what's gonna come up next. And now this is one use case of the backpack, which is transferring different assets and using it across that represent your culture. We will show you another use case, which is to create one project collaboratively together. And I'm going to hand off to Christoph and create a starry night together.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Prasant. Thank you, Ruth. Okay, I want to invite you to playground of Scratch now. And I want to ask you, what is your level of energy now from 1 to 10? You can write it on a chat, and I need to prepare myself. Wow, because I have unicorn, because Scratch is magic and we need unicorn. And I have second thing, I need to change my look because orange cap is necessary for me. Oh, great, 10, 10, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, and unicorns send you good energy too. Okay, it will be a project for beginners and for advanced scratchers. one thing is very important, your creativity. And now where you have Scratch account, you can sign in. If you want, you can sign up, because I prefer my class, and you can use it and to sign up in this link I give you on a chat. So please sign in or sign up. This is the time for it. And I need to share with you with my screen now. Okay. So share button here. Share screen. Okay. And this one. Okay. You see my whiteboard. Okay, we have here everything what we need. And here is our project. This idea is invited from Joanna Panasewicz. Joanna Panasewicz is with us here. She is a teacher from Poland. Thank you, Joanna, so much. You are share this idea with Scratch community. And I give you now address of link to this project. And one thing, when you sign in your Scratch account, you need to use a beautiful button. The beautiful button is here, green button remix. So I use it, and I'm going inside to the project. Yes, I'm here. I need to see chat too. Okay. Great. And now, when we have this sprite, when you are advanced, you know what you can do. You can do everything. But my request is, please animate the star. Animate with blocks you like. You can put blocks together, prepare scripts as usually. When you are beginners, I recommend you some blocks. You can see it now. First is from events category. You can go to the events category and drag when green flag clicked. This is first block. The second, I recommend you, if you are, I'm muted. Is okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Fiona, maybe you need to refresh your browser. And the second block is forever. And third block, when you are beginner, you can use block from categories, motion category, and you can use this glide 1 second to random position. You can change this number, for example, 0.5, and you can put these blocks together as a beginner, and you can check what will happen now. When you are advanced, you can play with it alone. I know you are an artist, you are creative, you can use your creativity, and you can play with it. So I give you a time, I think, more or less, yeah, we can do it. 4 minutes to play with this project now. And I will play too, because I can, for beginners, recommend another block. For example, in the category looks, when you go there, you can use block change color effect by. Okay, Nicole, you need to sign in and to go to the Scratch project. I give and paste on a chat, and you need to go to the bottom remix, and you will be go to inside of the project. Okay. So when you choose change color effect, you can play with it too. You can choose effect, and you can play with it. Yeah, this is your project. You can do everything. Here is every path you choose is great. You can check, you can experiment, you can play with. Is a natural things for Scratch when you play with it, and when you want to prepare this kind of project. So I need to check, okay, we have 2.5 minutes for it. So I give you a time. Okay, I can see on the chat. I can join your class with my own existing account. I have. Okay, I don't know why. But if you sign in, you can choose Remix and to play with this project. Great, Jane. Yeah, I think coding clubs are great. Okay, and I need to just it. When you have your script for beginners, you can use green flag here under your screen, under your stage, and you can play with your star. Yeah. If you want to change something, yeah, it's possible. You can play every time with it. Yeah, thank you. You are helpful. I see. I see. Thank you. Okay. Okay, we have 1 minute, 20 seconds. Oh, great. Quite, I can say exactly, but Quinterest, you are great. We see your project, and the next step, I invite you to share this project in my studio. Okay. Okay, we have 50 seconds. You can play. 40 seconds, okay. Unicorn is still here and support you. Yeah, you can do it. You're an artist, I know it. You can play with the star. Okay. Great. But it isn't finished. Yeah, we have something special for you. Yeah, at the end, we have gifts for you too. So you can stay with us. Okay. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. So you can see here is Scratch with us. And now I give you a Scratch Studio, and you can add your project to the Scratch Studio. How you can do it? The first thing, it will be great. You can give name your star here. We have sprite, and I can change star Chris. Okay, it's okay. And you can change your name too. Star Sky, okay, Chris, under the script. You can do it. And now we have another great button. Button is orange, like my hat. Share. You can use share. When you click on button share, you have this view on your screen. And now another great button, copy link. You have under copy link. You can click on it, copy link. Yeah. You can copy this link and you can share your project here. So when you opened your studio, you can paste add project. Here you can paste your address of your project and click add by URL. Boom. Okay, I have the second. I'm waiting for your project. Remember, share and add your project to the studio. I will be waiting for it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Great. I have something for it. A moment. This is for you. Great. You are amazing. You are artist. I know it. I feel it. By internet, I feel it. Yeah. and because my unicorn. And great. There is someone who prepare first Scratch project now. Maybe there is someone you can give us on the chat this information, but it isn't finished. But because now you have access to the every project in the studio and you can open it. And I can't open everything because we don't have enough time, but I opened for project and I can show you how we can connect this project together, because I'm going to the Italian teacher, great Italian, buena, and I see star here, so I can go inside of this project and I can drag this star from Italian teacher to my backpack. Okay, thank you. And second, this is mine. No. Jova. Okay, I know you. You are from Poland, Jovita. Great, Jovita. I take your star, amazing, and put. I transporting star with scripts into backpack. Yeah, and the next I go inside Quentress. I probably, but you know, you can see your name here, and I can take and drag this star here. Okay. And now I'm ready to go inside of my project to open my backpack and to take project from Italian teacher, sorry. I can go to the Jovita, best for you, and I can take another star for you, my friend, and you can see what will happen now. When I put it together, I can see every star I drag into backpack and to connect in one project. And after that session, I will be work with your project, with your other project too, and I will be connected every star. But you can do it the same, and this is great. And when we have project, we can go here. Thanks for every scratcher that cooperate with you. This is great, and I can do it, but not now, but because I will be typing only. We don't need it. So that's all. If you have, studio is here for Jennifer. You can put it your project here. I'm proud of you. You are great, and you can use it backpack in this way. But we have gift for us too, and you can find there another example how you can use backpack with your during your workshop, during your lessons with your pupils, students, teachers, seniors, as you want. Okay, the floors is yours, Tracy Prasandrov. Thank you. I'm grateful to be here with you and to share this kind of Scratch energy. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Christoph, for your amazing energy and also showing that you can collaboratively create one project together very simply using the backpack function, because the code associated with your sprite will be saved as well. So whatever you drag into, they will come with a code. So it is easy. And yes, I also think I need an orange hat. And I think there is one question about getting project to the studio. So Christoph explained it just now. So let me do that again very quickly before we wrap up. Okay. So let me go to the Backpack Studio. So first of all, you should share your star projects. So let's see. So if you share your project, like here. See inside. So you should share your star project, which is in orange if you haven't shared it. And then you'll be directed to this page with a shared project link. So URL here, or click copy link here. So click here, copy link, and then go to the studio again. So let me go back. So this is the studio that Christoph has created. You can see add project. So I'll paste the starry, the project that I share, and then I just click add by URL, and you should be able to see your star project here in the studio. So hopefully that helps. If not, you can continue to ask and troubleshoot in the chat. And Christoph has also very kindly prepared more resources on how to use the backpack function and some examples of maybe asset pack and things that you can use the backpack for. So we have the URL here. So if Prashant or anyone can also paste the link in the chat, that will be great. And we also have a QR code, which is to this link, basically. So it's tinyurl.com/scratch-backpack and the QR code. So that's it actually for our, so let me show this again. That's it actually for our session. So today we talked about why it is important to have culturally relevant content on Scratch, presented by Ruth. And then we showed you different use cases of Backpack. The first one is creating an asset pack and using the asset across your projects that could represent your culture or even a particular theme. So you can use the paint editor or collect images that speak to you, that you want to share with your students. And then the second use case is how to have a simple beginner project for everyone, encourage them to work on something, code something, and use the backpack to combine everything together so that everyone create one project together in collaboration, because the backpack can actually save all the code as well. So those are a start for you to explore the backpack function of Scratch. And we still have some time, so we would love to take any questions, suggestions, or maybe if you're familiar with the backpack function already, tell us how you have been using it so that everyone can get inspired. So let me stop sharing. Great. So let me go back. And since we still have a little bit of time, if you're still working on your star, you can still share that in Christoph's studio. And maybe Christoph, you want to continue to add more stars to the project. Yeah. After you share, if you make changes, do those share too? Yes. So after you share a project, if you edit the project, it will be saved automatically and reflected. So what everyone else see will be the updated projects. Can you share your Google slideshow? Yes. So it's relatively simple. I think the most important slide might be the backpack resources slide. So we have some speaker notes inside, like Ruth, I don't know if you feel okay with sharing those as well, or otherwise we can make a PDF.
I can just make a quick copy without the speaker notes and share it.
Oh, okay. Thanks so much, Prashant. Yeah, so we have one sharing here. My students look at different projects and download graphic sprites to the backpack which they use to create projects, something like collage. Yeah, exactly. So I think kind of similar to what Christoph was showing as well, like combining everything into one project. And in Scratch, we really encourage remix and using one another's things. The most important thing is in the credit session in the project page, you have to credit properly, like where you get all those graphics and so on. And we also think that is a great teaching opportunity to talk about what is good digital citizenship. like borrowing stuff, remix culture, giving credit. And we have 26 projects now. That's awesome. Thanks, everyone. And Wendy, when I first discovered the backpack, I was also blown away. It's like so convenient. I think many Scratcher cannot live without it, including some of our colleagues, because they have some like frequently used code and so on, and they always have it handy in the backpack. Yeah, so let's see what else. And Ruth and Christoph and Prashant, feel free to come off mute to answer any questions, respond, react as well.
I have another session starting, so I'm going to drop off. It was really nice meeting you, Ruth and Christoph. And again, thanks, Tracy, for putting together such a fantastic session. Thanks, everyone, for attending.
Yeah, thank you, Prashant. And if you're interested in hackathon, go join Prashant's session in the next hour. See
Bye.
you later. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's see if we have any other more questions. Yes, Scratcher status. Yeah, so if you're completely new to Scratch, if you just registered an account, it will take maybe like a couple of weeks for you to get the Scratcher status. Then you'll be able to do more, like share on the community. So we have that in place because we want to discourage all these spammer accounts. So Scratch often gets a lot of spammer account, unfortunately. So people creating many new accounts very quickly just to troll or spam our website. So we have that Scratcher status, which will only enable more function after a few weeks in place to discourage that. Let's see. What else? We also have a question, maybe one final question on how to create a studio. I think it's like earlier in the chat. So let me share that again. So this is like in Scratch. If you're logged in, then if you go to this folder, which is my stuff, you can go to My Studio here, and you can just click here and add a new studio. Then with the studio created, you can update the thumbnail, the description, and you'll have the studio link. So just like what Christoph did, you can just share the studio link with others and ask them to add your project to your studio. Let's see. How do you use the apps off block? I'm not exactly sure which block you're talking about. Is it Nicola? Yeah, if you can tell us which block is it? Which section is it in? Is it motion, looks, or what is that? And yeah, and thank you everyone for sharing all these great tips about how you've been using Backpack, and also like creating a spreadsheet, incognito accounts to navigate the privacy issue. Oh, and actually, oh, okay, Chris, thank you so much for sharing that. Probably is a block that I don't use very often. And we are at time. And thank you so much for joining this session. I hope this will spark some idea for you to create your asset pack, think about your culture, and also explore the powerful backpack function. And we're excited to see what you're going to create. And you can always email us, share on social media. We would love to see that. And thank you so much. I'm going to end the session, and I'll see you in some other sessions.